Hey, it's Joy Beland here. We have another in our series of CMMC Explained, and I'm super excited because this week we're bringing on one of our team members, Tom Chebib, and this is actually Dr. Tom Chebib. He has Dr. T in his Zoom window as his name. And I'm going to tell you that we're talking a little bit about project management and the importance of that skill set when it comes to CMMC and assessments. The reason that I wanted to have Tom on with us is that he is a PMP himself. He's a member of our cybersecurity team. And Tom, I'm going to let you introduce yourself in a minute, but the reason I'm so excited about this is that Tom and I just sat through the provisional assessor training. We are currently wrapping up the authoring of our CCP exam study guide, and then all of the instructor slides for us to be teaching this course. And what I see is that the need for really solid project management skills is interwoven throughout the entire assessment planning and assessment phase, and then the wrapping up the assessment. Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to ask you some specific questions on this.
Sure. So Dr. Tom Chebib, I am a cybersecurity consultant with Edwards Performance Solutions, and I'm also part of the wonderful CMMC training team here at Edwards. So I have the pleasure of working with Joy on all sorts of either training material or preparation for classes and all that, and I'm pretty happy to be collaborating with you, Joy.
And just to be clear, because your skill set is so much deeper than PMP and PhD, what are all the other acronyms?
So I'm also Agile certified, I'm a PMI ACP certified, I'm Scaled Agile certified, and I'm a certified Scrum Master also. So I'm multifaceted in the project management industry.
Yeah, so you haven't met a project that you can't tackle.
No, no, not yet.
And part of your responsibility here at Edwards is getting us ready for that level 3 DIBCAC assessment that we'll be going through. So you were making this like CMMC for you is coming to life in all facets of your project management skills and digging in deep to the cybersecurity knowledge that you have, which is really exciting.
Absolutely.
And
so
we're seeing now, we're writing the exam study guide for the CCP. We went through the class and we're looking at this template they're providing as an assessment plan. One of the things that struck me is that throughout the entire plan, we have assigning the correct resources, making sure the scope is correct, the timeline is going to be correct. At that phase, in the planning phase, how important are the project management skills?
Very important. So planning and communication are basically key for every project manager and for every assessor in this case, because they have to be good project managers in order for them to deliver on scope and on time, right? So we don't want the assessment to go on forever, and we want to make sure that we have a good outcome from that assessment. So making sure that we have everything documented, making sure that we have a plan to follow, a good communication plan, and making sure that all of our stakeholders are always in the loop as we're going through that, and making sure also that we're communicating with the C3PAO all the way across along the assessment, and making sure that they're on board with the schedule and giving them some touch points as we go along. So those are also very important skill sets to have as an assessor, is to be a good project manager, manage your time efficiently, the scope of your work efficiently, and communicate the right way.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that I noticed that they dive into is that there is actually sections on the form where you have to list out potential risks and issues logs. And talk to me a little bit about those two and how important that is to the project.
Absolutely. So a good, healthy project always has a healthy risk register, I call it, right? So making sure that you document and keep track of your risks from the inception of your project all the way till its end. So whenever you start documenting your assessment plan, make sure you maintain a risk register, you communicate that to the appropriate stakeholders, you try to find out the priority of that risk. Is it a high risk, is it a high impact or a low impact, or also having appropriate basically remediation documented just in case they happen, so that way you know what to do. But as I always say, good communication always lowers the risks, and helps everybody on the assessment mitigate them, and so that way the assessment flows smoothly.
Absolutely. And the reason I wanted to dive into this a little bit deeper with you is because I think that in technology, a lot of those assessors are going to be going out and be able to just kill it when it comes to all those technical controls, reading the policy. But the fact is, if they're not managing the resources properly and identifying those risks properly, they're jeopardizing the success of the project. They're going to be disappointing the stakeholders.
Yep.
And how that translates to whether or not the OSC passes the assessment and hires them 3 years later to come back and do the follow-up assessment. Everything in the line of how the CMMC system is set up is in jeopardy if people are not managing the actual assessment projects well. So I do see it as a key skill set. It's one thing I'm really excited about in being at Edwards, that one of our professional training segments that we offer is the PMP. So I'm thrilled that I'm going to be in line to add that to my list of acronyms. But I want to thank you for your time today, Tom. I'm going to be bringing you back for more CMMC Explained videos, because I know that as we continue to cultivate all of our training, there's going to be so many things coming up that we want to share.
Excellent. It'll be my pleasure, Joy. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. All right, so another episode of CMMC Explained. Be sure to be posting your comments and keep engaging with us. We are loving shepherding this process, and keep in mind that we are all in this together. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.